welcome to another video, and this one is going to be a little bit long because the task is not complicated, but there's a lot of steps involved, and this is just basically teaching you how to do passwordless authentication. That is when you SSH without the need to enter the password every time. And if you have used tools like Ansible or Puppet, like any configuration management tool, if you are trying to manage configurations on servers, it is necessary for you to be able to SSH without the need to enter the password every time, so that you can automatically do any automation tasks that you need to be done on the servers without having the need to worry about SSH all the time. So I had made a video earlier on explaining, but I'm going to explain for the sake of this video, because I forgot to press record on my previous video. But anyways, I'm redoing the task. So what I was just explaining is the client side is where we're going to be operating from. I'm going to be using the terminal for this, and on the server side, that's our VM. So our VM, I'm going to treat it as the server in all my explanations. So on your client side, you generate a public key together with a private key when you run the RSA command. So when you have the public key, you can copy the public key to the server. So every time when you try to SSH without the password, the server will check on the section of the authorized keys that exist on that particular server. And those authorized keys are the ones that are going to be given access without needing to log in. And we also, I had already created this path on what we're going to do. First of all, we're going to go on the client, that is the terminal, on the terminal, and we're going to check whether the public key has already been created, this public and private key, whether they're already there. And once we confirm that, we are going to SSH to the VM, that is the server. And once we're in this VM, we're going to escalate our privilege to become the root user, because we want to be able to SSH with root privileges automatically every time we SSH into that server. So we're going to create this path, and then we're going to allow this ownership of this file to allow external users to be able to manipulate change the ownership. So we will set strict permissions on this particular file that we're going to create for the authorized users, and we're going to append with T, that is from this client, we're going to make an append to this file we would have created for the authorized key, and we're going to go to the servers configurations in the etc/ssh/sshd.config file, and then we are going to manipulate, we're going to change it so that the root login is enabled, and also SSH is also enabled, and we're going to restart the service and hope everything works. So I'm going to try to do it as quick as possible. So let me make two terminals, and let me log into our account. So don't worry about these logins, you're not going to be able to access them even after I'm done, so I'm not worried about sharing or letting you guys see them. So on the VMs section, we see that we have this data center VM. For this moment, we are going to need this IP address, since we're trying to SSH to this particular VM from our terminal here. So I'm going to use this. No, I'm going to SSH from here. So SSH, the name we have been told from the lab instruction that the name is Azure user, right? Azure user, right? At the IP address that we have been given. Why did you go on the next? So do we want to add this? Yes. So now we are logged in, right? But we want to escalate our privileges to become the root for this particular server. So we're just going to sudo -i, and now we are root. If we check who am I, we are root. So in this terminal, that is our client or the master node that we need to be able to use, right? So for the meantime, let me create the root that the folder that they require. So they require us to have an authorized. You need to add a root user's public key to the Azure client's host authorized keys. The SSH key for the root key on the Azure client host is located at this particular place, right? So we need to also make a folder structure here. So I'm going to make dir and /root.ssh, and I'm just going to make sure I set the correct permissions, and I will need to use this. Let me just copy and keep it on the clipboard. So typo. And we also need to make that authorized folder. So I'm going to just copy again /authorized _ keys. Right, and I need to copy this command because we're going to need it again. And we're going to change the permission. The reason why I think I explained, right? The reason why we're changing the permission is because we're going to need to copy the public key that is existing from this side. So if I just do a cat, right? Wait, there's no way. Cat root SSH. Wait, where did they say that it's located? Oh, it's located at this. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that this key is the one that we need to copy to the server, right? So I'm making sure that the permissions are going to allow us to be able to write from the client side. So that's why I was running this command, right? So we can now go back to the client. And in the client, we're going to need this command for SSH. So let me copy it for SSH. So again, I already showed you what's at this location where our key is going to be. So for the command, I'm going to cat root, and then we're going to pipe the output, that is this key for this command. Let me get the pipe operator, and we're going to now SSH, right? So once we pipe with SSH, and after SSH, we're going to then run this command sudo, and the T operator is for us to append to that file that we created, the authorized, right? And we're going to also hide if like there's any duplicate outputs. So the path that we need to, I just need to make sure I have the correct path. It's this authorized key, right? Where were we? Okay, yeah. So we're going to append to this path, and then we also need to make sure that we don't have any duplicates. So I'm going to do /dev/now, and we close our cards. Let me just increase this so that we can see. So I hope that worked, right? Yep, so the keys are now appearing in the RSA key is appearing here. So that means we successfully copied it. But I'm just going to check the permissions. So to see if they are still correct. No, I pasted the wrong command. So sudo ls, we want the long form, /root /.ssh, right? So we do see that we can read and write, and I'm also going to check for the /authorized key. My keyboard is about to run out of battery. Authorized with a Z keys. No such file in directory. Authorized. SSH, or I'm probably butchering the spellings here, forgive me, but I need to make sure that this is correct. So this is the path. All right, so yeah, that's correct. We do have the folder and with the correct permissions. So now I need to check the nano. I need to check the configuration that I mentioned. I don't like using nano. I just said nano right now, but I'm going to use the vim etc/ssh/sshd _config, right? And I need to be careful with this file. What did I just do? This one does not exist. Why? ECT SSH slash or ECT my bad, and SSH SSHD config. Okay, now we are in the correct file. So let me switch to insert mode, and we're going to make sure that permit root login, right, is yes. I hope I'm making the correct because if I mess up this file, then it's not going to work. Public key authentication, yes. Except, all right, so this is correct. But I remember there's a command, because before I remember I was doing this tutorial, I encountered a problem and I'm just trying to think how I solved it. But anyways, for the meantime, let me just save, and once we get to that rod, we're going to figure out how to save it. I like double checking. Okay, seems all correct. We don't want to save anything, just exit. All right, so we need to restart the service. All right, so SSH, no, system CTL, restart SSH. We need our sudo, and we also need to restart SSHD, and we also need to I need to confirm whether this is running according to the lab. Refresh. Running. Okay. I think I should restart this server though. There's a feeling I'm getting that I need to restart this for this to work. Okay, so we're going to make to try to see whether we're going to be successful in logging in. So we are logging in with the user Azure, which is already authorized. So we want to see whether logging in as root with OS privileges, whether that is going to work. Fingers crossed, please work. Yeah, this means it's working, right? But there's a command, a script that has been put in place that says, please log in as Azure user. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the passwordless authentication is not happening, because if we were not able to log in, then it wouldn't have been a problem. On the authorized key, yep, this is a culprit. So if you can check on top, we do have a command that says once we log in, right? The command is echo, please log in, yada yada yada. But we can just remove this command if we want to make sure that passwordless authentication is working. So yeah, so it had already been set to sleep for 10 seconds and exit, but we are not going to have any of that. So yeah, technically the problem is not actually a problem, but I want to see it work, so I'm deleting it myself. Oh no, not here. So we're going to try to SSH. Yeah, so that's how you do it. So let's check if the task is complete. All right, so we are done. We are all set, and that's it for this video. See you in the next one.